Hi, everyone. My name is Kristen Husted, and I have been delivering these higher wisdom messages from Sophia, who's known as the feminine essence of the Holy Spirit, or another way that this beautiful spirit is known as God is within, or the wisdom of ages. And this spirit, this beautiful spirit, the Holy Spirit, is here to connect heaven and earth together. So been beautiful messages that have been coming through since, I believe, December 2025. And today I want to wrap up February's energy and messages. And I want to talk about all the messages that have been coming through in February and then read February 28th's message. And then we're going to wrap up February. So many of you have been following and you knew about the prediction of this great earth change, both human consciousness and earth change upon February 18th. And so this date kept coming over and over again through these messages about this time of great change and renewal. And basically, what we were getting was a picture of what life would look like with a complete reset, and like an instant reset of our um, society, both in our human consciousness and our connection with each other and our governments and institutions and all through this great earth change. But the whole time, they kept also saying that, hey, you guys create your reality both individually and collectively through your alignment to your heart and what you are focusing on and calling to you. So they kept talking about how we need to walk in faith and start to claim what we do want, not what we don't want. So it was this beautiful message of like, hey, here's where society says they're going, because they keep saying that they are tired of the lies and deceits, and they are tired of the hate and the fear that is so easily robbing all of us of joy, and we're ready for change. And so every time they talked about this through these messages, every time we align to the message of fear or hate or deceit, we are actually feeding those energies. And so, in order to shift our reality, we must take our attention away from the fear and the deceits and the lies and put it on to love and gratitude. So, this is what these messages have been telling us. So, come February 1st, they say, hey, drop the date of February 18th and now walk in faith and believe in a dimensional shift and realize the God code is within you, and realize there are many angels walking upon the land helping you with this evolutionary shift. So then they were talking about something of greater magnitude, like that we will pluck you up and out of this grand earth shift and we will place you upon safe land. And so they were talking very metaphorically and very grand. And if you're not aware, if you're not used to that kind of talk, it can be very confusing because our earthly minds want to compress it and say, hey, this is going to happen and this has to happen and that date will happen. But they kept saying, here's a date and we're going to give you a date because A, that date was very powerful. And then B, hey, when you guys are pushed up against something and you decide what you do want, not what you don't want, you create change. And so that is what I believe this whole date provided for us, was a wake up call and also a ton of powerful energy upon February 18th. So upon the 19th, after the earthly change did not happen as we had been told through one of the ways that we will make changes. But again, they kept saying, you have ultimate control because nothing happens outside of yourself. So we need to look back at these messages and go, oh my gosh, I get it now. I get it. But there was a way that they're saying, hey, this would be an quote easier way to come together. Not easier because it would have a lot of massive change, but it would force people to come together in love. Okay. So upon February 19th, when we woke up, or excuse me, when I woke up, I received a message from my friend who lives in California, and she has that gift of intuition as well. And she gets a lot of messages. So over the years, we always talk about different changes that are happening. Well, I wake up to this message that said, hey, did the prayers of the world change the situation? Did we divert a disaster? Avert a disaster? And I texted her back and said, what do you think? This is what I think, but it's so confusing because I was the person to deliver this message and it was very heavy upon my heart. And she said, hey, we see in part and we know in part, but our creator sees in whole. So we probably see a grain of sand in comparison to what really is happening in this world, in this life. And so all we can do is walk in faith. And that's why they keep saying, you guys got to walk in faith and trust, align yourself to what you do want, not what you don't want. And they kept giving the power back to us And so after she said, we see in part and our creator sees in whole, she said, talked about Jonah in the Bible, and he cried out to Nineveh, which is a city, and said, if you don't change your ways, your city's going to perish. Now, he was given that message from the creator to deliver that to the city of Nineveh. And they repented and the city was saved. She said, I'm feeling like this is the same situation, but she said, but we still need to be in a place of love and peace because we keep creating. If we don't change, then that energy needs to be balanced out somehow, right? I mean, if you don't change, then you can't expect that the peace and love will continue because you're not creating peace and love. So I thought that was a beautiful message from her. Then another client or a client sent me a second message. And again, I do not believe in coincidences. I believe that the universe is always guiding us with divine synchronicities and messages. So this message came from, I believe it was an Instagram post, and his name is Sean Clayton. And he titled the message, This might be the most important 3 minutes I have ever received. This message was so important. He, I think, put it out on February 16th, and the date that he was talking about was February 18th. And so he talked about whenever Ramadan, which is a Muslim holiday of fasting and renewal, and Ash Wednesday, which is a Catholic Christian of fasting and renewal, whenever Ramadan and Ash Wednesday have fallen upon the same day, that has been 4 billion people praying for renewal through fasting and prayer. 4 billion people. And his message went to go on to say that anytime Ramadan and Ash Wednesday have fallen in on the same date, the world has broken open. He talked about revolutionary changes and the Great Depression. And now, this time, I've been getting this message and he got this message. This time, we need to claim what we do want, not what we don't want. Need to be very active in our intentions and our words, our deeds, our thoughts, and our actions and our prayers, because we need to create the reality that we do want, not what we don't want. And so he talked about this. It was a very, very powerful message. Again, Sean Clayton on Instagram. Okay, so with those two messages coming together, and just realizing after we've kind of distanced ourselves from the emotion of not, quote, getting or receiving the earth changes that we thought we were. But yet, if you look back on February's messages, and all along they kept saying, you create your reality. And they kept showing us, here's what you're choosing, this great reset with earth changes and tsunamis and literally changing the earth topography. Or you can do a more gentle, easier reset. They said this through the messages. So now upon the 19th, we have to look at it like, did we as a nation, as a world, with our prayers, with our intentions, with our desire to change in a more gentler way through love and gratitude, did we avert some great disaster? I say yes, but you guys need to go within. Everybody gets to decide how your reality plays out. And these are the messages that are coming through. So I'm going to take them as a wow, we did it. You get to decide how you want to look at your life. But these changes, they keep saying, are still up ahead, and we still need to be in a place of loving gratitude. It's not like we get a get out of jail free card, like, no, we must continue on our path of renewal. And because energy always needs to be balanced out, is what you're going to see in the message I read very, very shortly. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and just tap into all the messages in February just quickly. And then I'm going to read the one on the 28th, and we're going to wrap up February's energy. All right, so here we go. This one is. All right, so we started out our messages in February from Sophia and Jesus and the archangels. February 1st is let go of the date of February 2026 and relax, is how they started it. Let go of the date and relax. Trust you will be guided to what you need to prepare. And you have all been given direction in your heart on how to walk forward upon the earth. For your divine compass is within, the blueprint of your soul and your soul's assignment upon earth is within. And so they said, please let go of fear, times, dates, and places. Okay. And relax into the divine compass within your heart. And they said, each day sit in stillness and ask your Heavenly Father, Mother of all creation, to show you who you are. Ask for your purpose to be revealed and then trust us. We will provide the answer. Okay, that was February 1st. Just a quick overview. February 2nd, they say, there is much wonder and mystery upon the land, for there is great change. Many will begin to awaken in February to a place in their heart. Again, they talk about the heart that they have pushed aside. They will rise within them a knowing of life outside of the constructs they have created to keep them safe. Okay. The constructs are the beliefs that we create in our mind to keep us safe. They go on to say they will expand and rebuild their beliefs and their thinkings to align to the compass within their heart. It will look like a mass awakening as millions upon the earth will feel this deep shift inside them. They will begin to question their purpose in life and why they're even here. These deep questions will arise within them, their true I am nature. And then they go on to talk about as the body of Christ consciousness love gathers back together, it will ignite a flame of light so bright that all will see. And this light of remembrance will flash through the world and the universe as all of our Creator's children come back home. Come back in home to the truth of who they are, their true I am nature, which is pure source love energy. So that was February 2nd, which was beautiful. So February 4th, Mother Earth says, I will aid the people upon the earth. I will restore the air and provide fresh water. I will rise within all the power to recover and rebuild. My electromagnetic field of love will stabilize all inhabitants upon the earth, restoring and renewing them, making them feel safe and loved. For that is who I truly am. She talked about how she is one of deep peace and love. But she talked about how her lands are weak. She says, my lands are weak and my burdens are too much. For my must open up and expand my earth's crust in order to grow and evolve. And we're going to talk about this later on about how she can expand. She can expand in a mighty fell swoop, like boom, like she's open and there it goes, like they had been talking about the great reset. It can happen quickly or it can happen with ease and grace. She can expand with ease and grace as we can expand with ease and grace. So you must remember everything's consciousness and it can choose how to balance its energies out. All right, so February 5th, 2026. And they said, today we want to talk about the hope and peace that is much support upon the land right now. You might find yourself hearing a mantra, a chorus in your head saying, you are worthy, or we are with you, for we are filling the airways with our songs of hope. Please take these into your heart and trust the message. So here we have a lot of support upon the land. And I do want to say on that one, all during these last 3 months, when I have been in my prayer time, and I think I've told on YouTube, I go from like 4 to 6 or 4 to 6:30 every day during the week. And I treat it less like my job, like to clear and hear and receive these beautiful messages. Well, prior to February 18th, I'm not kidding you guys. Like every time I'm in prayer, like I would all of a sudden just spontaneously started singing these praise songs to the earth and to the heavens. I mean, I don't even know what I was singing, but they were just beautiful. Like, we are with you. We are with you. And then I found myself blessing the heavens and the earth and all the people, north, south, east, and west every day. I just found myself like using my hands and blessing and just asking for renewal. And this would happen over and over again. I have never experienced that before. It would overtake me. And I found myself just in prayer and meditation, just singing just for prayer and renewal. And so it was a very fascinating time for me as well, because the energy was so powerful. There was so much support, as I believe they were waking us up to, hey, you guys got a choice point coming up ahead. And what do you want? We've shown you what can happen. And now you get to choose. So I found that very powerful. Okay, so February 6th, they come in and the message says, there is newness of thought here to awaken. And they said, we're so very excited for humanity because many are awakening to their knowing that they are created beings. And they're finally realizing the power of their intentions, words, deeds, thoughts, and actions when they align to the heart. They've been saying this message over and over and over again. That is how you create reality, both individually and collectively. Okay. So that was a powerful message. Then February 8th, they say, we are here to lead you through the greatest shift you have ever known. You cannot fathom in your human mind the magnitude of the shift, for we have been saying that where we are taking humanity has never been done before. And what you will find on the other side of these changes is a land of peace. For in your monthly calendar year of 2026, excuse me, February 2026, there will be a choice point for humanity. So they keep talking about this choice point. You guys get to decide, we get to decide how we want to go through this evolutionary change. We can go through with one fell swoop, we're forced to change, or we can go with ease and grace. And again, this message has been coming through over and over again. Now, February 10th, they come in to say, so please take away any judgments you have of your life situation. Take away any fear, the loss, the devastation, and allow yourself to align to the energy of hope. You ask how to do this, and we say through your words, deeds, thoughts, and actions when they align to your heart. So again, they say, take away your attention on the fear and the loss and start to put your mind on what you do want. And so they say this in the next paragraph. So, what do you really want? Do you really want the fear so easily entangles you? Or do you want the hope and love? But you say your life is difficult, and we say we understand how real it seems, for this earthly school was designed to forget who you truly are. And then they come in to say, but if you really understand the power that our Creator has bestowed upon you, you would not give fear or negativity a foothold. So again, they say, drop into your heart and learn from your past, let it go, and start to create the life you do want. Then on February 11th, they come in, they say, please prepare your hearts and minds to walk by faith into this new awakening. So now they're saying, hey, you got to walk by faith. And they said, what we mean by faith is to trust us, that where we are leading humanity has never been attempted before. And again, they say, leave behind your wounded past, say you're sorry to yourself and others, and walk into this grand awakening of your soul. For unto the day of February 18th will arise a new beginning, the age of enlightenment, the age of renewal, the age of awakening, where you'll begin your journey back into remembering who you are, a soul living upon the earth in fleshly form. Okay. Then on February 12th, they come and they say, upon the day of great change will arise within the land new beginnings. For this change that is upon the earth is here to propel humanity into the age of remembrance, the age of awakening. And then they talk about you people of earth need a reset, a reframing of your mind, body, and spirit. For upon the land is much deception and lies. And they say, we mean all of you have forgotten who you truly are. So here they are again to say, hey, if you guys really knew who you are, and I think in this message, or was it? Okay, it's in the next message. They say you are powerful. So keep claiming that and walk and start to catch your thoughts and start to change them into what you do want, not what you don't want. Okay, February 14th, they came in and said, um, it is like going through the birth canal. You are leaving the comfort of one reality and entering another. But the place you are going is much grander than you could ever dream of. There will be a shift in consciousness, in human consciousness, a remembering of who you are, and you will start to see beyond the beliefs that you and the world have created. And they say, please go within, come into your heart, breathe slowly, and allow this change to take place. Okay. And then they talk about if you for one day, if everyone for one day were in a place of love and gratitude, you would change the world in an instant. One day of that, one day. That's what they're asking for. One day, you guys, we've got to do this. We've got to come into a place of peace and love and non-judgment. If we could do it for one day, we could shift reality. Okay. February 15th, they come in, they say there are legions of angels singing constantly in the airways. You are worthy and we are with you. And they said a lot of people are hearing that audibly, but a lot of people are just getting that message in their heart. And I personally was hearing it all over and over again at night. I would just hear this frequency, this singing. It was so beautiful. Okay, then February 17th comes and they say what this new age will bring is comfort and peace. So once we get through this change, this new age will be comfort and peace. It will take all the past lies and mistakes and wipe them clean. It will arise within each person a compass of truth, and it will awaken each soul to their true I am nature. Justice will prevail and worries will be fewer. For upon the journey of all will eventually be like angels walking in fleshly form upon the earth. All right, so that took us up to February 17th, and then the 18th came, and they still were saying, "Hey, you could have this. You guys could have this crazy, major, massive reset all at once, or you can use the energies that are upon the earth right now." And so, also not even talking about the energy of Ramadan and Ash Wednesday, but also all the prayers and the intentions of many millions of people not wanting this great earth rift. And also, there was an eclipse on the 17th, and then we had the planetary alignments afterwards. So the 18th, with all that powerful energy, was set up for you get to choose this way or this way. What do you guys want? And I guess we chose the timeline of the easier shift. But as these messages keep saying, the choice is still ours, and we must continue to walk in love. Okay, so now we get to February 20th, where they say um, the Earth Rift. What they said was, we say about the Earth Rift, many decided on a higher timeline to live in faith, a dimensional shift, as we've been calling it. This timeline of love and faith will continue to prepare the world with the hope of a rebirth and renewal. So we made, per Sophia, per the angels, per this message, we made a dimensional shift. We shifted onto a higher timeline. So we are learning to live in faith. And they would call that a dimensional shift. And they talked about and taught us what a dimensional shift is in one of these videos. And I think it's titled Dimensional Shift. All right. So now they're saying, you ask us what we mean by this. And we say to all the people upon the earth who are listening, this is a very important message. You are in an evolutionary shift, and the time upon you has never been attempted before. You may not understand this with your finite mind, but you will understand it through your heart and alignment to unconditional love. The heart is the gateway to the divine. And so, again, they're saying we cannot make sense of this change in our mind. It must be through our heart. And they have told us this from the beginning. This change will be so vast, so big, that it will confuse us and it will not make sense. So remember, we probably know a grain of sand of really what is going on in this universe through our Creator's infinite wisdom. And we try to make sense of it. Remember my friend's message who said, we see in part, we see in part, we know in part, but our Creator sees in whole. So we need to remember that. You guys don't try to compress everything. Don't try to always figure things out. Allow this evolutionary shift to take change the way it will. But what we are called to do is come into our heart and choose love, because we create our reality through that divine alignment to love. And we can change the world in a minute. So there's an evolutionary change. We just need to do our part. Okay. And which, again, these messages have been fabulous. All right. So February 20th, they say much will take place that does not make logical sense, but we keep saying your heart, focus on your heart and trust within. Trust the peace and allow the conscious field, the very fabric of life, to crack open and rebirth a new society. Come back in. And they've talked about this over and over again, that every single heart, no matter how deceived they've been or how much they've aligned to the dark side, as we would say, every heart has that spark of their true essence in it. And we need to do our part to see people in that essence. And we need to do our part to give love and healing to the world through our individual alignment. And they say here, we will crack the very fabric of life open and rebirth a new society. So then February 21st, they come in and they did a talk on self-defeating thoughts and how to navigate through those. And I have a video that's coming up next after this one. And February 22nd and 23rd, they talked about healing of the body. So it was a quantum healing lesson and another lesson on the body. So 2 lessons on how we can heal. And these are big concepts, I get it, but all we need to do is start with baby steps. Start to visualize in our body health, wholeness, and healing, and lift ourselves up to our Creator and ask for that divine wisdom to come in and restore and renew. And we just need to just do baby steps, for we are in an evolutionary shift. And they keep saying this evolutionary shift will take as long as you need to or as short as you need to. So we want to keep going. We want to keep walking forward in faith and just do what we know to do and let the results be up to our divine Creator. Okay. Now, then they talk about February 28th. So they talk about the progress of the world, that much humanity is starting to wake up and they are opening their eyes to this deception that has ruled the land for too long, about the ones in charge who are using, so the what people say, like the governments or the elites or the people in charge that are using the airways, the media, and the people to suppress society. And they're trying really hard to manipulate, but they have lost and the light will always win. And then again, Sophia says, this is why we're asking you to keep your sights on above, keep your visions on beautiful new society where love and unity are the driving forces, where people will work together in a place of peace and respect, where Mother Nature provides a bounty and abundance for her people. For when you do this, you are helping reshape reality into the golden new future. The time is now because all on earth is in flux, and many are leaning towards the destruction of a broken society. But we want to warn you that a broken society can only be fixed through the power of love, for love is the ultimate force of change. And the change is here to direct Earth into a bright new future, one of joy and peace. And so they said, you must first start aligning. You must choose today. Are you going to align to the energy of peace or fear? And again, every time that we align to the world is broken, we are going to support that energy. And again, these are energetic concepts, but keep it simple. Gratitude and love will change the world. That's all you need to do. Stop judging, start loving, and start seeing and visualizing the world in a brand new place. Okay, so now I want to pull up the final message I got for February. Oh, here it is. What to say to the people. Said, please tell the people we are with them. This is a time of great magnitude that has never been seen before. Many citizens upon the earth are in deep slumber, and they will stay in their current reality they have chosen. For that we say it is perfect, for they are on a learning path that is right for them. But for those who are awake and leading into these messages of renewal, we say, please listen. You are seeing beyond the construct of life, and we have been teaching you you are a multi-dimensional being capable of shaping reality with your thoughts and intentions when they align to your heart. This is an important concept because your life on earth has many timelines, and each time you choose or come to a fork in the road, you will choose a path of learning. When you choose a path of renewal and hope, you are shifting the current reality of life. When people choose a path of fear and destruction, they are choosing that path of learning. Neither path is right or wrong, for all paths lead back home. But these times of great change are upon you, and we're asking the ones who align to this message of hope, who awaken within you the desire for change. Start to see and imagine a world of peace and love. Feel this world, feel and see everyone living in harmony. Do your part upon the earth to spread love and kindness and say you're sorry to yourself and others. This is how you will create great change, for the world is a conscious construct of both individual and collective agreements. And collective just means all of us together. You all have free will to create how you desire, but the road of the past was paved with fear and deception, not allowing you to live in your true essence. But we say the time is now upon the earth to walk into who you are designed to be, for you are made in the image of love of your creator, God, source. You ask about the rift on February 18th, 2026, and we say humanity was choosing that timeline of renewal because they want change. Yet most people do not know how to begin to change the world. They feel stuck in a world that is falling apart with government controls and deceiving institutions that will only continue to get worse. We say you were all choosing a grand reset of such magnitude, and that is what we were showing you. We showed you the timeline of the great earth changes, and it was a strong timeline that people were subconsciously creating and sending that request out into the universe. For as we have been telling you, you create your reality both individually and collectively. So when you say the world is horrible, the governments are deceiving, the medical institutions are not working correctly, we are saying that is the energy you're creating with. So with the rift, you had to see reality you are creating. You are creating this timeline of destruction in order to force your hand for this path would have and still can force people together for global reset. The choice is still yours. That is why the date of February 18th, 2026 was so strong on the timeline. You all could have chosen a reset in order to see life in a new way. However, the energy of the eclipse, the planetary alignments, the prayers of billions, along with all those who are awake, made a timeline shift, a dimensional shift, as we have been telling you. You see, nothing is outside of yourself and is up to each individual on how they want to progress through these changes ahead. Then globally, you will decide on a soul level which path is the highest potential. You see, life is always in flux because change is how the earth releases her traumas. We are saying energy always must be balanced. If enough people choose a catastrophe as an agent of great change, then that will take place. Or if enough people choose a slow and steady evolution, that will take place. But each soul must choose individually how they will progress through life. And that will be what we are here to teach you. You live in a you inverse, and what you align to, you will see play out in your life. Now for Mother Gaia. She is still in flux and is slowly releasing as we speak. She was ready for a great reset, but the loving prayers to her and to each other were enough to help heal with smaller releases. You see, energy must always be balanced. And when you do not send love, which is the ultimate driving force of change, you will see a harsher reality play out. That is just the nature of creation. For love is who you are, and love will always create beautiful changes. Your heavenly Father and Mother of all creation wants the best for you, but you were given free will, and the choice will always be yours to decide. This is why our Creator always says, ask for help and you shall receive it. So if you align to the love energy of our God Source Creator, you will shift gently through these changes. For as we've been saying you all along, you cannot logically make sense of the times you're in. This is a heart-led adventure, and you must constantly align to the heart for your path to unfold. Love, Jesus and Sophia. And, that was just a beautiful message. And it just talked about how, again, we made an evolutionary shift. We made a timeline jump, all of us together, the billions of people, were praying and wanting not the drastic change after they were informed of this is the highest probability timeline you guys are creating for a massive reset. And they said, you will still be in this evolutionary change and you still will have to do the work of staying in love and non-judgment and love for all, unity consciousness. So again, they said this is hard for people. They've been saying this all along. This is a big concept. People don't realize they're creating their lives through their perception of how they see life. And so I was just doing an interview this morning on uh, a woman. Her name is Amy Boyer, I believe, and she has the channel called The Everyday Woo. And she's just a beautiful person. So we were talking about this very thing. She said, well, what about the earth? I mean, how is the earth going to release? And what I've been told, and in my messages, and also I think I delivered it on the 20th, I believe, onto YouTube, is that Mother Earth, think of Mother Earth as a friend. And if you stand by and support this friend, and you say, hey, you got this. Hey, I'm so sorry for all the pain that we've caused you. Please just know that you are loved. And thank you so much for all that you do for us. And you sit there and you praise and you love and you give Mother Earth / your friend space to feel. That friend / Mother Earth will release slower with tears of crying, and her crust will expand slower. We have been having earthquakes. We've been having a lot of seismic activity, and a lot of geophysicists have been following this. And they were saying there were doomsday fish coming up off the coast of San Francisco. They were saying that San Francisco is ready for another one. They're saying that in the Indian Ocean, there was a big 7.2 earthquake, but it was so far deep down in the ocean. Now, these could be little releases that Mother Earth is doing in order to, because she feels our love and support. Now, not only it's the love and support for her, but also for each other, because we live on our land, and energy is getting absorbed into her, and energy always must be transformed and renewed. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. We must transform it through the energy of love. So, okay, so here we are saying, hey, Mother Earth, you've got this. We love you. And she's releasing and expanding, not in this boom, this great reset. She is still expanding and bringing forth all the promises that she said she would, but it will be at a slower pace. Okay. So that's one way. The other way is to say, hey, I'm not going to change. I'm still going to hate my neighbor. I'm still going to just hate this world. I'm still going to say that the world is going to hell in a handbasket. And Mother Earth, I don't want you to release because it really just inconveniences me. I mean, I've got a life on this earth and I've got family, and you don't get to release and you don't get to expand, but I get to do whatever I want. And that kind of energy, boom, she will release her fury like nobody's business because we are putting that negative energy into her, and energy always needs to be balanced, as the message that I just read above. That message above is actually on my free wisdom messages, which is under wellbalancedfarm.com under the free section, and the wisdom messages are found under what we offer. So there's so much going on. Again, all the while, they've been saying you cannot fathom the changes that are ahead. You cannot do them with your logical mind because we are flexing so much. Every decision that we're making is flexing and changing and creating different timelines and realities because we're in an evolutionary shift. And if you don't understand that, please then just stay in a place of love and gratitude. I will tell you, it was really fascinating because of how I see energy, and I see energetic energy, and I see beyond this construct of this world. When I went to California the 7th, 8th for a convention, I saw water everywhere. I saw water, water, water. I saw water above the mountains. I saw water. And then I'm like, why am I seeing water so much? And then I heard dimensional shift. So then I saw dimensional shift, like people were going to rise above this. And I'm like, I see water in a dimensional shift. I kept getting this message. It was really fascinating to get that message, to see both a dimensional shift and water. So you guys, we might not understand this, but we are multidimensional beings, and every choice we make, we split the timeline and we go this way, and there still is a reality going this way until that reality fades and plays out, and then we come another choice point and we take this way, and this reality fades. It's, some people call it parallel reality, some people call it dimensional shifting, some people call it timeline uh, changing, some people call it simply a change in perspective. But this is what we're doing. These are the times we're in. Thank you so much for being a support on this channel. I just love all the beautiful comments, and I just am so privileged to be the delivery system. I'm learning right along with you guys. I've had to do a lot of self-healing and self-renewal as well after this great shift that did not occur. And I got to see from a bigger perspective as I got away from the emotion of it. I got to just go, oh my gosh, and hear these beautiful messages. We did it. We made the shift. So continue on with love, continue on with gratitude, and just keep enjoying these messages, for they're going to be about hope and renewal. All right. Thank you so much and have a great day.